You know, it's pretty amazing how much technology has changed. Take this for example. This I purchased about maybe over a year ago. I paid like $10 for it, and now looking on the eBay, they've gone up in prices for this. And I mean, this is old tech, but I bought it for a gimmick, and that gimmick went nowhere. But anyways, this is a Quantum, the Bigfoot. I forget which one this is. The TX model, 5.25, 6 gigs, 4,000 RPM, IDE, Molex, and these were around the 1996 time frame. They went anywhere from like $200 to $400 for just 4 gigs at 4,000 RPM. Yeah, and now, well, a year and a half ago when I bought it, they were like $10, but now these things have gone up, and this is just a really cool drive. And I do have a plan and a project in mind for it, so hopefully we'll get around to that. But then you look at now the stuff that we have now. Look at these, a stick of gum this size that pretty much holds 500 gigs, and these cost probably about, just depending on the brand, the model, $40 to $60 years later. And then this was $200 to $400 back in 1996. That's crazy, and this is just storage. And what's even more crazy about all this computer tech and how it's changed and evolved, this is a computer. That's right. We have a whole entire computer with built-in graphics, memory, storage, fans, all in this little price. And it is about the same size as an ancient hard drive that cost equally the same price years ago. So this is the PELADN Mini PC. Let's dive into it and see what it's about. So this was sent over by this company, and I was kind of interested in it because I just kind of love these small computers. Let's look at this. This is the PELADN Mini PC, the i5-12450H, up to 4.4 gigahertz, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of M.2 PCIe, and it's a mini desktop. So I haven't even opened this thing up yet. So let's do that. Am I gonna need a knife for this? No, my muscles are pretty adequate enough. It's the HO series mini PC. I'm actually not going to say that word because I might get censored, and you know, little ears watch this channel sometimes. You gotta be careful what you say, folks. And let's see how it opens up. Come on. Any day now. There we go. Yep. So this is the HO. We got instructions on it. Lots of different languages I don't understand. I'm sure if I look through it, I'll eventually find the English. Yep. Basic operation, front, back, and side, and all the goodness that it has. So, nice. And this is the PC right here. Wow, it's crazy. I mean, this is just the size of my hand. And that other hard drive was just twice the size of it. If you go back even like into the 80s, computers back then, they were huge. So let's open up this goodness. And wow, pretty nice. Give it the smell test. I just love the smell of new hardware. Does anybody else? Definitely chime in down below. It's kind of cool. Let's see what else we got in here. Power brick, VGA cables. Looks like some thermal pad for some storage options. Qualified certificate, inspector, wherever your name is, QC, inspector gadget. We got some screw action. We got a bracket. I'm sure that's all in the instructions. So yeah, pretty cool. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just fire it on, see if it has a version of Windows on it, and then we'll open it up. We'll do a little stress test on it, because I'd hate to open it up and then tamper with some thermal paste or pads, and then you really can't get a real world feel of how well this thing works right out of the box. So, you know, just not create unnecessary variables. So let's plug this in just like so. DC 19 volts. Now it does come with HDMI, but we'll use the one that I have for my stuff. USB 2, LAN 2.5, two of them. Let's see, do we got anything else? In the front, USB 4, what is it? This is USB 4, a clear CMOS button, which that's pretty cool, headphones, and USB 3.2. So let's just go ahead and pop this right in. And just, you know, for comparison, we're just going to put Bigfoot right next to this little guy, you know. All right, let's hit the power button. Whoa, this thing has RGB. That's like going to be 1,000 frames per second right there. So that's pretty cool. That thing just fired up instantly. It looks like it has a version of Windows. So let's see what it got. Now, it would be cool if it has an activation. I'm not going to hold my breath, but you never know. Ooh, we got the Chinese writing, so that's not good for me because, you know, I don't speak that language. I barely speak English. So we're just going to have to use the pictures and context clues to kind of figure out what is going on. And who knows? It might even let me change the language. Oh, yep. English, the United States, yes. I am in the United States. US, once again, skip. All right, cool deal. So let me go ahead and set up my stuff and we'll be right back. So I spent a bunch of time getting drivers installed, a couple of games, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I figured let's start with going into the BIOS. So we have the build date and time 4/9/2024, so this is newer. Aptio setup. Haven't heard of a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure if I look it up I could understand it a lot better. As you can see, our CPU, Alder Lake 12th Gen i5 12450H. Speeds 2000 megahertz, memory 16 gigs, and it's 3200 megahertz frequency. Not bad. Let's kind of look through it and see if we have any, you know, customizable features, which right now, not really seeing anything out of the ordinary, which this is not an overclocking type deal, but you'd be surprised what you might get sometimes. But it seems to be standard, nothing fancy. Just going through each one, security, boot, all that stuff. So that's pretty much it, a basic BIOS. Now let's get into Windows. And if you're wondering how to get into the BIOS, you just press the DEL, the Del button, 1,642 times, and eventually you'll get in there. Or you could just press it a couple of times, you get in there. Now, it does come with a fresh, clean installation of Windows 11, and which I like because it doesn't have all that bloatware, antivirus, all the garbage that the big companies do. So you just kind of go in there, put in your own. I did check behind the scenes to make sure that, you know, there's no infiltration from any third-party companies, if you get my drift. And it's legit, so we're good on that. Temperatures on idle, 48 degrees, but with a spike to 76 degrees. It is a little hot box, but I haven't seen no thermal throttling, so we're good. So running this thing, using it as like a just a daily office for just browsing the web, maybe watching some YouTube videos, you know, basic stuff like that. Type in documents, the Excel, it runs perfectly fine. But there is some claims for gaming and simultaneously apps such as video editing and all that stuff. So I figured we just dive into the gaming aspect. So Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we all know this is one of my favorite games, 1080p. I'm at the low settings, and well, as you can see, 14 frames per second. Not impressive. The temperature though, you know, 60 degrees, 60 Celsius, but our GPU 100%, CPU 30%. I mean, it has the Intel integrated graphics, the UHD, all that good stuff, and I mean, you can't expect much with those. But this is not a gaming rig, although they make some claims to gaming. So, as you can see, nothing to be impressed about. And despite all this wonderful, glorious RGB that it does have, I don't even think that could help us with the frames per second, which, you know, RGB, more frames, definitely not. So on to the tried and true, the Fortnite. So playing it in anything outside of performance mode is definitely not good. So we're doing 1080p performance mode, and a lot of drops, a lot of stutters. If I had to give it an average, I want to say maybe 25 to 30 frames per second. We got moments where it spikes up, but it's just all over the place, and a lot of it is that just integrated graphics. I mean, it is playable, and eventually it does kind of smooth out. I mean, I find this game to be poorly optimized at times, but I mean, it's really not smooth. I got this guy coming after me, and well, let's see. A slight delay, and it might be my keyboard now that I think about it, but yeah. As far as a gaming PC, unless you're gonna play the potatoes type stuff that doesn't really require a lot of GPU, definitely would not recommend it. So let's kind of dabble into the video editing. So the program that I use for video editing is DaVinci Resolve, and there's a really good reason why I use it. It's free, and I'm cheap. And it works pretty good. I've been using that program for a while. I used to use Movavi that you could buy on Steam, but then I saw what this could do, and it was free. That was a no-brainer. So let's see what it can do. Let's just try to edit a quick video. And right off the back, I could say there is a little hesitation delay. Typically on my 5950X, when I move the videos over, it's like instant. That took a little delay, but let's put it on here. The temperature is ramping up, as you can hear the fans. And this is just a video from my other channel. And let's just go ahead and just do a little edit, cut, delete. Let's add another one in there, just another video like that. All right. So, I mean, it is doable. Not as smooth. I mean, of course, I have a full-size rig and everything else, but I mean, it seems to be getting the job done. It's playing the video. The feedback's actually pretty good, or the playback. There we go. So not too terrible. So now let's go ahead. Let's deliver it. I do most of my videos in 1080p. Let's just put this on. Yeah, that'll work. 1080p. Add render to queue. Now let's see how long it takes to render this 1080p video. It's probably 2 minutes. So it's a 2-minute 1080p video, render all. So the time is saying about 3 minutes, and I can say on my 5950X, it does that usually in about maybe a minute or less. I think probably a lot less. Now that I think about it, I've done 20-minute videos that take about 6 to 7 minutes. So, I mean, it's not a powerhouse. It's small, it's compact. They do make claims for video editing, which I would say that if I was on the road and I needed to take a small computer with me, I would definitely take this to do my video editing, as it would definitely get the job done. But as far as gaming, as we saw, not much to be expected. So let me let this finish and we'll get the final time. Now, as far as temperatures, 90 degrees Celsius while video editing. The boost clock was to 4.3 gigs. It did downclock to 1.1, and I saw it downclock to 1.1 as soon as it hit 90 degrees Celsius. It is a little bit of a hot box, and in defense of this little guy, it is really, really hot in my garage. It's actually 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Probably shouldn't be in here too long, but you know, I love to tinker around with this stuff. Now, as far as our time and how long it took to edit that 2-minute video, 3 minutes, 11 seconds. It does a lot faster on my faster main computer. And obviously, if you're gonna do 1440p and 4K, it is gonna take longer. Still decent though, that if you're on the road traveling, I mean, you can edit 1080p videos, so that is something to consider. But she is a hot box when you put her on the load. So before we take her apart, because I really wanna do that, let's get you out. It is warm, but not ridiculously warm. You have the RGB rainbow puke, and if you look on the side over here, you have a button for the LEDs, and if you hit them, turn it off, turn it on to this white light, orange, and rainbow. So that's the colors you got. No control or any customability, but I mean, hey, it works. And if you like the RGB, there you go. But then again, this is supposed to be mounted behind a monitor. I don't get it. So we got this thing shut down. Let's unplug everything, even the power. Hold this just to kind of discharge anything that's kind of being stored in there. Perfect. Now to open it up, it looks like you have 3 Phillips, and of course the warranty sticker. Which is kind of weird because you can add more memory to it, add another storage drive according to the instructions, so why would they care about that? But this is my computer and I do what I want. I do what I want. I think that was like South Park. Forgot the episode, but Cartman, I do what I want. But anyways. So now, how does this come out? Is it like a magnet or something? All right. Okay, cool. So you have the thermal pad over here. Let's get more light in it. This is our fan. Thermal pad, obviously, for the, for the M.2. Yeah, for the M.2, and then you have this spot, so you can pop in another storage. So this storage is PELADN 512 solid state drive, M.2 SSD, NVMe 2280. Can we take this sticker off and see more information about it? Says Pfizer. I don't know. Never heard of it before. And our memory, which, interesting. We got 16 gigs, but we only have single channel. Unfortunately, I don't have another memory stick. And I'm sure if we was to put another 16 gig in here, we could run dual channel, and that would be ideal and probably give us a lot more performance. I mean, dual channel does make a difference, folks. But it is what it is. As far as like anything else, the CPU is probably going to be underneath here. I'm not sure if it's soldered in or if you can actually change it, but I'll be honest with you, I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole just because I'm running out of time. I actually got to go to work in an hour. So maybe in another video we'll take it apart and dive into it. Got our battery right over here, the Wi-Fi card. So pretty simple, very easy to upgrade. So we have what? 512, 1 terabyte, 1 terabyte, 2 up to 4 terabytes, 32. I'm not sure if you could put 64 gigs. Not a lot of information on this. So we're going to put this back together. Pretty cool, pretty simple. And let me give you my thoughts. All right, so here are my thoughts. If you're going to try to compare this to, or try to consider as an option compared to a desktop computer or even a high-end laptop, it's totally different. It's in a different league of itself. Yes, similar characteristics, but I mean, this is not a high-end desktop gaming computer. For the price, which you're going to pay $500, you're paying more for the portability, possibly the RGB, but it's still a little cool computer. If you want to take it to travel, to do some light video editing, maybe play some ROMs emulation, I mean, this thing would be really good for emulation and maybe some potato games. This is the way to go. The small size, the portability factor, and the fact that you can upgrade it, and I believe there is more room on the table for some performance. If we were to add another 16 gig of 3200 DDR4, we'll get the dual channel on there. As far as temperatures, if I dive deeper, which maybe I'll do it in another video, if you guys want me to dive deeper into this in another video, definitely hit the like button and let me know down below, and we'll completely take this apart, maybe see if we could change the thermal paste to help with temperatures, to kind of help with that thermal throttling. I have found a lot of the times that companies and even big major ones cheap out on the quality of thermal paste, and you can actually get more consistent clocks and better temps and performance just by putting quality thermal paste. Now there is another version of this with the Ryzen, and it has their dedicated graphics, which I've used those on different computers, not the PELADN model or not like this type, but I've used those integrated Ryzen graphics and they perform a lot better. So that would be the way to go, but it's not for everybody, but it's still pretty cool, well made, and I like it. And if you compare it to where we've come from 1996 with a drive just alone for 4 gigs, and now we have an entire computer the size of the palm of my hand, makes me think, what's next. So I'll post links to this mini PC in the description box, so if you want to check it out or pick one up, this might be for you. I think the purpose for me that I'll use it for, I might consider it just for travel, because I find a lot of times you go to the hotels and all you got is the TV they have on there, and sometimes, you know, late at night I want to stream something, maybe play some old classic games, because there's a lot of cool Steam games that really don't require much, and I like to get caught up on that. Just, you know, when I'm on vacation late at night, not having fun, not saying that I go on vacation to play games, but, you know, and I think that would be pretty cool for it. Obviously, for an office worker, somebody who just needs to data entry and, you know, sending emails and all that stuff, this thing is more than capable, more than enough, more powerful. And the cool thing is that if you use that bracket, which, as you see right over here, you can mount it behind your monitor. It's tucked away, nice and clean, so really good for the office worker. And one thing I will give them real good credit for is including this thermal pad, so if you decide to put in more storage on it, that's already been addressed. So pretty cool, well built, well thought. Not for everybody, but you can be the judge and say if it's for you or not. So comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Is it amazing how far we've come with technology, and where do you see it going next? And what are your thoughts on this? For the price, is it worth it? Is it for everybody? And do you like the way it looks? I think I do. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.